do you want a yam? Do you want a yam, baby? Moon, do you want a yam? Yam! Yes! Here's a yam, Moon. This is my dog, Moon. She loves these yams, and she's the reason I put the time and effort into making them. They're her favorite treat. Hi, my name is Crystal Rock, and today I'm going to teach you how to make the most irresistible dehydrated yam treats for your dog. I've made other yam treats for my dog with YouTube videos that I had watched in the past, and she didn't like them because the yams weren't cooked, they weren't at their peak sweetness. And so to start this recipe, I'm going to use a fork, and I'm going to make some holes in this yam here. Just a couple on either side. And then we're going to pop this guy in the microwave. It took about 4.5 minutes to get this yam, pretty large size, to be nice and soft. You want to make sure it's cooked enough or it might go brown as you dehydrate it, but you don't want to overcook it obviously, otherwise it will turn to mush. We're gonna set this aside and let it cool for a while. A little bit too hot to cut for now. You can put it in the fridge if you want to expedite the process. I've preheated my oven to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I would normally use a dehydrator to make mine because I have a dehydrator, but I know a lot of people out there won't have one. So we're gonna do a test and see how long it will take to do both methods. I've got a couple cooked yams here that I'm gonna slice up. I like to do nice thick slices. I've got my dehydrator sheet here. I'm actually just gonna switch to a serrated knife as I think that that's gonna work a little bit better. Nice and easy. Alright, they're nice and evenly spread out here and ready to go into the dehydrator. I've turned my Excalibur dehydrator onto 135 degrees, and this process will vary in length of time depending on how big your slices are. I would recommend, checking it after a couple hours and perhaps like rotating the tray or flipping them over, and that will help expedite the process and just have a more even cooking time. I've got my tray here all ready to go into the oven at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm guessing right now that it's going to take a couple hours, but we will see. It's been 2 hours now since the yams have been in the oven at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, so let's check them out. They are looking about half done at this point, so I'm going to increase the temperature to 240 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm a little bit impatient, and 4 hours plus of not being able to use your oven is quite a long time, or can't leave it unattended. So I'm gonna give them a flip and a rotate and throw them back in. And here we have our dehydrating yams. They're looking less done than the ones in the oven, and that's to be expected. They're going at a lower temperature, but usually I would leave these in overnight so it's not a problem. They're not at risk for burning down your house. They don't need to be attended, so I'm just gonna, again, give them a flip, a rotate, and throw them back in. And I'll see you guys back here when they're done. Hi, it's the next day and our yams are all finished. These ones are from the dehydrator. You can see they're still like a nice bright orange, a little bit crispy, still a little bit pliable. These ones were done in the oven. They finished last night, so they've reconstituted a little bit and they're a little bit softer than the ones from the dehydrator. I think that method works quite well in the oven, although a little bit more tedious, as you do kind of have to be present and watch them. I left my dehydrating yams on overnight, and since they were pretty close to being done at that point, I just turned my dehydrator on the lowest setting, and then when I woke up, they were perfect and ready to go. You want to really make sure that these are completely dry, so that way they don't go moldy as you're storing them. I try not to make more yams than my dog will consume in a couple weeks, so that way they are going to always be rather fresh, and if you have any concerns about them being a bit too soft, I would keep them in the fridge. I've never personally had any go bad or moldy, but I've always had them be super dry. You can see the difference here in the color of them. I think they look and feel a lot more like the ones that you buy commercially from the store than recipes that don't cook the yams prior. I think about myself personally, if I'd want to eat a raw yam versus a cooked yam, of course I would choose a cooked yam. It'll be a lot sweeter and more delicious, and our dogs feel the same way as well. Thank you so much for joining me and Moon today on a culinary adventure. Take care.